Hello, YouTube. We are back again, and we are recapping Season 1 of TALAMASCA, Episode 1, Let's Go. The TALAMASCA is like his organization that's kind of overarching throughout all of Anne Rice's works to greater or lesser degrees, essentially. And I'm going to put it out here that I think a lot of what's going on in this show probably isn't exactly going to be from the books. So I don't have a lot of like cross comparisons as of yet, but I will look for them if I find them. That being said though, my hypothesis this season is that it's going to be kind of a prequel series to Tale of the Body Thief, which is, you know, right after Queen of the Damned, right after the original trilogy, is the next kind of leap forward. So they might be setting it up for like future seasons of Interview with the Vampire Chronicles universe, maybe. And I know the character Raglan James is going to be in this season. He's going to be in the next season of Vampire Lestat. I feel like there's strings here that are kind of obvious. And if not, and they're not doing this at all, they have put so much effort into red herrings, it's kind of ridiculous. But that all being said, let's hop in. This is what happened during episode 1. So we start off the season in London. We're following this woman. Her name is Soledad. And she breaks into the London Talamasca mother house. And she downloads a file on something called Chrysalis. And the name of the file being Chrysalis seems kind of suspicious, especially if we think this is going to be a Tale of the Body Thief prequel. You know, Chrysalis, changing of bodies kind of thing here. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking for clues where there are none, but it feels like that's what's going on here. And as she is, you know, fleeing the scene, so to speak, she is finding herself followed by a couple of revenants. Now, revenants, we've only really briefly been introduced to them in season 2 of Interview with the Vampire. They're essentially zombie vampires. They're basically a human that dies but still manages to become a vampire, so they're kind of undead. Whereas vampires in Anne Rice's universe, in her books, like, they're not technically dead. They all have heartbeats and shit. Like, they're alive, they're just vampires. So a revenant is what happens when, oopsie, this is a dead body that became a vampire. It's a problem. But regardless of who is chasing Soledad, people are chasing her and she is in trouble. So she runs off into this train depot, train station thing, and she hides the info that she downloaded in a certain spot, and then she hides behind a train to, you know, hide herself away from revenants, even though the train conveniently moves away from her almost immediately. It's like the worst luck for this girl, right? I found a hiding space. My hiding space left me. But you know what? The revenants haven't attacked yet, because guess who shows the fuck up? Jasper. Now, Jasper's a brand new character for the TV show. At least in all of the books I've read, I have not met a vampire named Jasper before, and he's an American vampire. And he also comes out of like this, you know, big SUV, and he has a little clicker. You know, like when you train dogs with the little clicker? He's got one of those, but for revenants. So Jasper basically figured out a way to train attack zombies rather than having, you know, attack dogs. And instead of being taken by Jasper and the Revenants, by the way, great band name, Jasper and the Revenants. But anyway, Soledad's not going to be taken by them, because it's going to be way worse if he takes her. So she does the only thing she can, which is to step in front of a moving train and immediately splat. On that note, let's take a hard cut over to New York City, and we have Helen. Helen is a Talamasca agent working for the New York mother house, and she shows up for work. It looks like it might be like just a normal kind of day, except for the fact she gets to her office and the first thing she immediately has to deal with, someone sent them an eyeball in a music box. Like, girl, it is only 9 a.m. It is way too early for eyeballs. But anyway, she has it and she's like, well, shit, I guess Jasper's on to us. She knows immediately who sent her the eyeball. The because the eyeball is also very distinctive. It has a freckle in it. And you know who had a freckle in their eye? Yeah, Soledad. He mailed her Soledad's eyeball. So shit, now Helen's in a bind. They gotta find a new agent. Now maybe let's try some fresh blood over here at the Talamasca. So enter Guy Anatole. Guy is kind of having a crummy day. Like, he's trying to interview at this very fancy law firm, and he doesn't fit in at it because, frankly, he doesn't come from money. He never met his father, and his mother died when he was 9 of a drug overdose. And then I guess he went into foster parentage after that. So he's having to deal with these, like, oh, he's somewhere in the Hamptons folks, and also having really bad headaches because a Guy can hear everyone's thoughts, and it's just a constant clamor barrage of voices all day. I could see you getting a migraine from it. But the thing about Guy is that he's not necessarily easily intimidated. And to say that negatively, maybe you could say he doesn't have a sense of danger. And he decides, you know what, I'm gonna get lippy during this interview. Probably he read it in one of their minds that he should be lippier. So he's like, hey, listen up, fuckos. So he just kind of lays some shit out for these people. He's like, take it or leave it, bitches. But apparently this was the right choice because they kind of like him having a backbone. So surprisingly, Guy ends up getting this job at the very fancy law office. A Guy isn't gonna take that job if Helen has anything to say about it. Guy, he walks out of his interview feeling pretty good about himself, only to be followed by Helen. And then they end up meeting, and Helen gets him just intrigued enough to come talk to her later. She is like, hey, I got a proposition for you. I will pay you to come listen to me. I'll give you $5,000. Which, you know what? If someone's giving me $5,000 just to listen to something, I would be pretty intrigued too. So she has a great sales pitch. And also Guy, who did just get this really prestigious job, as of right now, Guy does not have a prestigious job. Guy is dead ass broke. So he's like, all right, fine. I guess I'm gonna go meet this lady later. I need the $5,000. So he goes to the address she gave him, and like TLDR here, basically she just tells him, hey, the Talamasca is like an academic group and they deal with the supernatural in particular, and they want Guy to work for them because they know he can read minds. Guy is rightfully fairly suspicious of all of this, as he should be. This is very cloak and dagger behavior. So he's like, okay, whatever. He takes his $5,000 and he leaves. And he's still really suspicious of them. And this only gets compounded when he opens the envelope with the money in it, and there's something else in the envelope. He pulls it out. It's just a sheet of paper. Guess what it is? It's one of his old letters to Santa from when he was a very little kid. How does the Talamasca have his Santa letters? Like, I don't know. Honestly, right here is the point of the episode where this could take a turn and turn into a Christmas movie. Where, like, they're trying to recruit Guy to be the new Santa because they need a Santa who could read minds and figure out who's on the naughty list, who's on the nice list, and then he learns the true meaning of Christmas along the way. And obviously they're not doing that, and I don't think Santa is going to be something they're tracking at the Talamasca. Okay, focus. I'm back in the loop here. Let's get back to Talamasca. So Guy, very suspicious of this. How do they have his letter to Santa? So first thing he does, buys a plane ticket, hops on a plane, goes to Florida, and he goes and visits his foster mother. This is the family that took him in after he was orphaned around 9 years old. And he's like, hey mom, guess what? How does this fancy lady have my fucking Santa letter? And the mom is visibly shaken. Like, she's scared here, and she's not really sure what she can even say because she signed an NDA. So already things are getting very off track here. What is going on? The only thing she really tells him is that, yes, he was specifically placed with them by a fancy woman with an accent. I'm assuming Helen, obviously, from the Talamasca. And from then on, you know, Guy was their son. They gave Guy their last name. They adopted him. But they were put there very purposefully. Like, this whole situation was orchestrated by a third party. However, mother's still scared right now. She doesn't know what she could say, and she's obviously scared of this cloak and dagger organization. What are they going to do to her? And she can't tell him anymore. And she's like, listen, the Talamasca is the best place for you. Maybe you should listen to them. You know, they're responsible for everything in your life. By the way, life-altering information here. Guy, like, thought he was in control of his life, only to find out he's been, like, interwoven into this big spiderweb conspiracy his whole fucking life and never knew it till now. So shit, that's a lot to take in and process. So Guy gets on another plane, goes back to New York to go confront Helen. So obviously he gets there and he's like, the fuck, lady, what is going on here? And Helen's like, listen, you're not part of the organization yet, so I can't tell you things, but I can take you to meet someone who can tell you some things. And this is my favorite part of the episode because Helen takes Guy to meet Burton, the most fancy pants 384-year-old vampire you will ever meet, and Jason Schwartzman's final form as a human. Like, his Charizard, so to speak. Like, this should be him all of the time. The reason she brings him to Burton in particular is that he's relatively friendly as far as vampires go, and also the only way to really believe that vampires, witches, ghosts, and demons are real is to be confronted with hardcore evidence directly in front of your face, which Burton is. He's very vampire-y. Guy goes into this meeting very skeptical of the whole thing because Burton is really putting on vampire airs here. He's wearing like a silk brocade smoking jacket. Like, this guy is like playing vampire to a T here. So he's like, all right, yeah, this guy's a vampire. However, Guy starts to question some things when Burton starts speaking to him directly mind to mind. I think this is the first time a person or vampire, what have you, has ever done that to Guy. Like, no one's ever been able to get into his head the same way he's able to get into theirs. But the guy still doesn't believe the whole vampire thing. He thinks maybe this guy is just another psychic like him. I don't know. So Guy, instead of using any type of caution or, you know, general manners, he just starts poking straight into Burton's mind like a deep dive and pulling shit out from his head he's got no business looking through. Obviously, this upsets Burton as it would upset anybody. The problem is Burton is a very old vampire. He has vampire skills, so he teaches him a bit of a lesson in humility here. Burton basically implants a thought into Guy's head that he should climb out the window and go out on the ledge. Mind you, they're in the penthouse. Like, they are very high off the ground. And then boom, Burton pops out. It's like, hey buddy, how are you? Like, you know, I'm pretty nice as far as vampires go. I could have just thrown you out the window, but here I am talking to you. And realistically, I could keep putting thoughts in your head and have you just take one little step and splat, you're on the ground, homie. Like, play nice and I will play nice. And luckily, Burton does not have him take that step off the balcony, but he does put, you know, the fear of vampires in his mind here. Like, hey, I am literally flying right now. Do you think you could have taken me on? The fact that I'm letting you get this far, it means I'm nice, okay? Not everyone's nice, Guy. Like, he just has to lay some shit out for him. Because I think Burton is genuinely a little bit concerned here. Guy's a kid, and he apparently is kind of cocky, and he just doesn't have a sense of danger, which is a big deal here. So him going into the Talamasca, oh honey, you're gonna get yourself killed. And it's right here that I started to wildly speculate again. This time not about Santa, but about the Vampire Chronicles in general, because this whole kind of cockiness, lack of a sense of danger, it does seem a little familiar to me. So go with me for a minute here, okay? This is a wild speculation, but very later on in the Vampire Chronicles, Prince Lestat in particular, we do find out that there is a vampire doctor, Dr. Farid Bansali, and long story short, they invented vampire Viagra, so they want to test it out, and you know who they find to test it out? Fucking Lestat, because he's also cocky and doesn't have a sense of danger. So they take Lestat and they're like, hey, do you want to have sex with a lady? We could give you like pills that make you be able to have sex. And he's like, all right, cool, let's go. I got nothing else to do tonight. So a consenting lady doctor is offered up and Lestat and her have sex. And to no one's surprise, you know, leaving your sperm with a mad scientist is never a good idea because wouldn't you know, they were able to produce a human biological child from Lestat. So Lestat has a long-lost son he does not even know exists. And the show has already established that Guy never met his father, and he shares some similar attributes with Lestat. And I don't know, this is like a long shot that maybe this is like long-lost son, but probably not. I think that Guy's father's identity is going to be a plot point. Like, who is he? It was very conspicuous that he said that he never met him. I think it's important. So I don't know, but that is a plot point later on in the book. So I don't know how many books are even going to incorporate here. But anyway, wild speculation aside, back in the present of the TV show, Guy freaked the fuck out because he almost died. He got put out on a ledge by a vampire, okay? This is not how he planned his night going. So Guy storms the hell off. He's like, nope, I'm done with all of you fucking weirdos, okay? Helen, of course, chases after him. She needs to know what's going on. And he's like, y'all are crazy. I almost died. What the fuck are you doing? And Helen's like, yeah, you know what? Guy, you are right. This is a dangerous job. And you know what? Maybe it's best you don't join because it's not safe for you. And here's the thing. Guy is one to not back down from a challenge. We've met him. He has this like very cocky attitude about himself where he feels like he's in control even though he knows he's not in control. So telling him he can't do something is a surefire way to get him to do something. I don't know. There's so many obvious like strings being pulled on Guy this whole time, just manipulating him, and they're very obvious to the audience that he's being manipulated. And in the show, Guy doesn't seem to notice he's being manipulated. I'm not sure about Guy yet. I guess I don't know him well enough. He's either very naive and constantly being manipulated, quite obviously, or he's playing chess here and he is 10 steps ahead of them and this naivete is like an affectation he's putting on. Either way, he's very obviously being manipulated. So cut to later that evening, Guy's already home, he's in bed, he's asleep, he's dreaming, and he's having freaky vampire nightmares, especially about Burton. Perhaps these were dreams, perhaps they were not dreams. It's kind of up in the air. I think Burton might have been there and implanting thoughts in his head. It's left vague on purpose here. And he looks to the chair that's just spinning in his room and it stops. And it's open to a page of a book. And so Guy goes, looks at it. It's a copy of Interview with the Vampire. In particular, it's opened up to page 227 and a name is circled on the page. The name Anna Lemus. Guess who Anna Lemus is? Yeah, that's right. Guy's biological birth mother. Why is she in this book? Someone is obviously pointing him in a direction here, like, hey, there's more to be found. So, conveniently, guess who's having a book signing? Daniel Malloy, our favorite curmudgeon vampire. And so Guy goes to the signing. He goes up to, like, meet Daniel, and he brings him the book. He's like, hey, open to page 227. Daniel does it, and he's like, uh-huh, I see. Closes the book. Gives him a message, hey, meet me out back in 20 minutes. So cut to about 20 minutes later, Daniel and Guy, they meet in this back alley. And TLDR here, we get some bombshells of this whole interaction. So our basic list of bombshells here. 1, Daniel did not write page 227 of the book. 2, the Talamasca did write page 227 of the book. 3, it has something to do with the 752. Daniel doesn't know what this is. We don't exactly know what this is yet in the show's like storyline, but it is something involving the Talamasca. Guy's mom is somehow involved in all of this as well. And 5, the Talamasca is obviously using Guy to get what they want, because why else would they do this? This is obviously manipulating you, Guy. Daniel just met this kid and just like learned this and already put it together. Daniel's very smart. He pieced together all of Louis' story through all the convoluted lies and mess. So, okay, if you have to go to someone to lay it out for you, Daniel's your guy. Now, there's one more bombshell bombshell that Daniel needs to drop on Guy. So Daniel, he airdrops a photo to Guy, and he's like, hey, take a look at the date on this photo. The date is November 1st, 2025. And in the picture, there is one woman in particular that stands out because it's Guy's birth mother. That's Anna Lemus, and she's very much alive as of 2025. So Daniel's like, listen, kid, there's some fucked up stuff going on here, okay? I know you think you're gonna ride in here on your gallant steed and like save the day. You're gonna go save your mom, but like you are fucking with shit you don't even begin to understand here. Obviously, your mom is a part of it. You should not go after this. Like, she left you. Move on with your life. Don't pursue this. However, knowing Guy and his kind of cocky attitude, you can't tell this kid nothing, all right? Of course, he's going to do the exact opposite of what Daniel's telling him to do, and he's going to go looking for his mom and try his best to use the Talamasca back. It is so unbelievably either naive or delusional that he thinks he could take on the fucking Talamasca by himself. It's so wild. Either he's gonna be successful or he's just stupid. I'm not sure how the show is planning to have this play out, but the Talamasca has been around for thousands of years. And they have endless amounts of money and resources. Why do you think you're gonna get the upper hand on them, Guy? Like, oh my goodness, this kid, he's gonna get himself killed because he's stupid. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, the only clues Guy really has right now is the picture of his mother. And she has a Talamasca tattoo on her arm, so obviously she was part of the Talamasca. And in the photo, once you zoom out, there is a English flag flying in the background. And, you know, conveniently, London was the place that Helen wanted to send him in the first place. Wow, it's weird how things just perfectly align to get Guy to do exactly what the Talamasca wants them to do. Like I said, it's very obvious all of the manipulations going on here to get Guy to do exactly what they want him to. It's like literally watching a puppet show at this point, like marionettes. So I'm not sure where this is gonna go. Because right now, as an audience member, I think Guy is kind of fucking dumb. Like, I mean, he's a kid. He's in his 20s, and he just graduated law school, so he's not that dumb, I guess. Like, he knows some shit about shit, but like, oh boy, does he just not understand the world. Like, I don't know. Either they're gonna like, you know, throw a curveball here and he's gonna be like a mastermind and been manipulating them back this whole time, or they're just gonna let it ride that poor Guy is just stupid and easily manipulated. I don't know, but either way, that is where the episode ends. Guy figures out that London's the place he's got to be, and the Talamasca is the way he's got to get there. That's episode 1. It kind of sets up the main mystery we're going to be looking at, why Guy is involved in the first place. We also know that there's tension between Talamasca offices, and perhaps some shady things are happening behind the scenes at the Talamasca. Who do you trust? It's all espionage and double agents and spy thriller kind of stuff going on, which is all great, except our main character is so easily manipulated that it's kind of less fun. Like, I feel kind of bad for him now. It's hard to root for someone you're like, oh, bless your heart about, you know? But anyway, guys who were following, and I'm sure we will find out more in episode 2. But on that note, let me know in the comments down below. I don't know, wildly speculate. Do you think there's going to be connections to other books of Anne Rice's worlds in here? You know, throw me a curveball. Wildly speculate. What do you think could happen? I don't know. Let's just rewrite the series together. Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. If you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And if you want cool exclusive content, including early access to videos or a book club, you can consider becoming a channel member or a patron. Links for that are in the description down below. And on that note, I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.